A popular influencer known as the Wizard Liz, who makes content providing inspirational life advice for young women, has recently been cheated on by her now ex named Landon. What's worse is that Liz is currently 4 months pregnant with his child, and he still felt the need to try and seek out another woman. This has caused an uproar all over the internet as people look up to Wizard Liz for being an it girl, so to speak, somebody who is intelligent, beautiful, and confident. The general response seems to be that if she can get cheated on, it's over for everybody. Today we're going to dive into this entire story as well as the internet's response to it, because I think a discussion about this could benefit many out there whether or not they've experienced a similar situation. I don't know what it is, but recently there have been a lot of cheating scandals that have gone on, and by recently I mean over the past couple of years, but they've been pretty significant. The most significant ones that I can recall are the Ned Fulmer situation from Try Guys. I didn't do a video on that. That was like a back burner video that I ended up forgetting about, unfortunately. There's also the Austin McBroom and Catherine situation that recently has been exposed more. That's more in the dynamic of family vlogging as well as a cheating scandal. Another one that I found pretty shocking was actually Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters. That one was wild.
I've got another confession to make.
Over the past few days, I've been seeing nothing but TikToks about a woman that goes by the name of the Wizard Liz and a situation where her husband was exposed for cheating on her while she's 4 months pregnant.
The Wizard Liz just went to Instagram to update us that she just got cheated on by that man she was with, and she was pregnant. She's 4 months pregnant with their child.
The Wizard Liz, out of all people, she is 4 months pregnant, and she just posted her baby gender reveal a few days ago, saying life can change fast once you decide what exactly you want. Like, oh my gosh.
Forgiveness is a big thing. So if you have ever had a trust issue come up, you got to learn how to forgive and work through that. Otherwise, that'll just turn into crippling insecurity that you suffer with.
Depends what the trust issue was. If the person is like texting other people.
Yeah, well, there's different like degrees of severity for sure.
I will not settle for someone that's cheating on me. You guys, do you understand what cheating is? Do you understand that that man thinks you're not worthy of loyalty? Cheating is a form of disrespect towards you.
So the Wizard Liz is an influencer who posts a lot of life coaching, self-improvement styled content specifically targeted towards a more feminine audience. She comes across as somebody who many look up to and aspire to be like. Her content is inspiring and empowering to her audience, and that definitely seems to be her goal, which she is certainly achieving considering that she has over 8 million followers on TikTok, over 8 million subscribers on YouTube, and over 5 million followers on Instagram. She is a cross-platform success who inspires millions of people, but she does this in a very unique way. Scrolling through some of her videos, I get the impression that she isn't the type of life coaching influencer who is going to be gentle and hold your hand and say everything's gonna be okay. She comes across as very direct, confident, and will tell you exactly what you should probably do if you're in a specific situation. I wouldn't consider it a tough love approach. I would see it more as a realistic, mature way of thinking, which is why a lot of people consider her to be the internet big sister. She comes across as the person who isn't going to tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Again, I want to remind you, this is my first impression of her. I just found out about her within the past 24 hours. We'll get into this later, but she did make a comment about having haters who might be happy about what she's going through. This very well could just be a case of her having a large following, and not everybody who follows you is going to like you. Not everybody who sees your content is going to like it. And naturally, when you put things online, there will always be a little bit of hate. But as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been any big scandal aside from what we're talking about today involving the Wizard Liz, at least that I know of researching this information. So Liz was engaged to a man named Landon. Landon. Fitting his name starts with an L. Anyway, he has a YouTube channel with almost 3 million subscribers. That's pretty successful as well. I don't know if he had more subscribers prior to this incident. He also has a TikTok with 75,000 followers and an Instagram account with 186 followers, and the only post on the Instagram account, at least from what I can see, shows a picture of Liz with her engagement ring. And I know we didn't get to the full story yet, but the comments under that post are absolutely diabolical. I cannot wait until later. I need to share them with you now. She was too good for you anyway. Bro she was your only aura? It's not just cheating on a partner, it's failing as a father before the child is even born.
Jesus Christ.
Guys, please stop. And continue again in the morning. I can't press like on all of your hate comments while I'm asleep. She said not to hate you, but expect receiving disrespect anywhere, anytime. I believe the more modern term to describe this man is cooked, but apologies for getting ahead of myself. Let's backtrack. So there's a video that we're going to reference a lot, which is this video that is titled A Q&A with My Husband. There are a lot of things in this video that provide a lot of clues for the timeline of this story, and looking back on it, things make a lot of sense. But with that being said, I'm trying really hard to be skeptical when watching parts of this video, because obviously finding out about all of this afterwards, I didn't watch the video prior to knowing that he cheated on her. So I only have an opportunity to look at this with the lens of hindsight and not be able to see this from the perspective of somebody who might have been a fan of hers, not knowing what was about to happen. In other words, I did watch that video and there are some things that are red flags, but since I'm watching it after realizing that he has cheated on her, I feel like I would be looking at it through a different lens, and I could possibly be looking at this with a bias knowing that he cheated on her, so I'm looking for little red flags. And there was a point in that video that struck a lot of viewers as concerning, even before the news of him cheating broke just a few days later. And the concerning thing was him talking about how they had met in person for the first time at an airport. So for context, they did apparently know each other through social media prior to this, but they had never seen each other in person to my knowledge. And the way it's described is that he sees her in an airport where she's wearing a face mask and a hat and is basically indistinguishable. You could not tell who she is just by looking at her here. Her identity is described as being very concealed, yet he somehow knows that this is Liz and he goes up to her and says her name.
I try to be observant, but I'm like looking around, and then I walked a step and I felt like I entered just like a new dimension. Not to sound crazy, but I took a step forward and I felt like I walked through a veil almost. And then immediately I sensed that I need to look up right over here, and I look up and I see Liz sitting. She has a hat on. She had like a mask basically covering her face. She was eating food, so like I can't even really see her. She's sitting by her friend, and I thought, oh my God, that's Liz. And I recognized you. I had no idea, like I had never seen you before in person.
And I remember he was like, Liz, and I look up, and guys, before I even recognized him, because he didn't look like how I remember 3 years ago, and I vaguely watched like one picture, so I didn't even know what you really
Did you watch
like.
any of my videos back in the day?
No, never,
Okay.
And so I saw him, and before I even recognized him, I go like, Landon? And I was like, huh? How did I even say that?
Yeah.
And it's so weird.
So this has led people into believing that he is a stalker, and Liz herself had even said in a post, which we'll get into more in a moment, how he stalked her content for years.
I couldn't sleep last night because the story just doesn't make sense to me. I spent all night thinking of why a man would cheat on his wife, who's 4 months pregnant, by going on Snapchat and talking to a random woman. And the only conclusion that I can come to is that he planned this and that his humiliation is not over yet. And I truly believe that the wizard Liz has a stalker and that this man has stalked her from the beginning.
Allegedly. And listening to this full video, it definitely did seem like he was a fan of her content before they even met in person. And prior to meeting in person, they were acquainted for what I believe was a couple of years. Now, before we continue, apparently there was a rumor going around that maybe they weren't single when they met each other. So yesterday, at the time of making this video, Liz had actually put a stop to this rumor, stating, I want to clarify something I've been sent and lies being spread. Landon was absolutely single when he met me. We were both not in a relationship. I don't know how people even came to that conclusion or who made that up, but I would definitely not be dating him if he wasn't single to begin with. When we first met over Instagram 4 years ago, we talked for a couple of days and I got into a relationship after, and so did he. Stop these false narratives. 4 years ago, DM about a book. Liz single, Landon single. After a while, both in a relationship and not in contact. 3 years ago, met at an airport in real life. Liz single, Landon single. I hate to clarify things about stupid rumors or misconceptions, but I'm already going through a hard time. To come at me with he wasn't single when he got with her. Proof? I would love to know too. Internet makes stuff up for laughs. WTF. So I know we're really not going chronologically here because this was posted after her big post exposing him for cheating. So let's actually get into that now. So it seems like Landon and Liz travel a lot, and they were together in London for a period of time, but Landon had to go back to Texas for a little bit, and while he was in Texas, he attempted to hit up another girl to see if she would meet up with him behind Liz's back. Now, thankfully, the girl rejected him and informed Liz about this. This girl also asked him, "Aren't you married?" And he said no. She was saying, "Aren't you married?" And he was like, "No, I'm not. This is just for social media." So not only was he being unfaithful to his wife, but he was also lying to this other girl and downplaying the relationship he had with his wife. It's bad enough that you're going to be unfaithful and cheat on your partner or have the intention to cheat, but it's even worse to disrespect your partner on a whole other level and act like what you have between them isn't even real. That is insane to me. There's some confusion between whether or not they are married. When she exposed him for trying to cheat, he denied being married and said technically they weren't legally married. But from what I've seen, they've called each other husband and wife, and Liz calls him out for calling their relationship fake. According to one online article, they actually got married in secret shortly after getting engaged, and they shared a screenshot of the Wizard Liz saying this on May 16th. Someone said, "Wait, they got married?" And her saying, "We got married immediately after getting engaged." So this would have been sometime in 2024. And if what she's saying here is true, that immediately contradicts everything he was claiming and paints him out to be a liar for saying, "No, we're not legally married." So anyway, husband cheats on wife. Additionally, the Wizard Liz has made several posts, so most of these screenshots were reposted on the Reddit, but I assume were originally posted on that Wizard Liz's Instagram stories, and I believe the first one was, "Funny how my intuition was screaming at me in this video. Thank God for what I found out today. I've been through worse in my life. This will definitely not break me. Women, choose yourself and walk away from the first time." And she then shares a screenshot of the almost hour-long video that she had just posted a few days prior. She then posts another story, which is also posted on her YouTube community/posts tabs. It's still up at the time of recording this video, but the Instagram story was only up for a limited time. And it states, "I will never ever create a fake narrative for social media. I will not preach something and not take the advice myself. Landon decided to make a Snapchat account and reach out to a girl to meet up. He was just with me in London, made a whole book about how much he loves me. Anyways, the girl reached out to me and my friend today and showed us evidence. He called the relationship quote-unquote fake. Meanwhile, my cats are with him in Dallas. All my stuff is there in our apartment. And oh, I'm 4 months pregnant. He says he's incredibly sorry, but honestly, I feel like I didn't know him at all. I feel stupid for ignoring the signs and dreams I had that I even told him about, and he told me I was crazy. Listen to your intuition, women. Men want to lead the world but can't even control their lust. It's weak. A man that can't control his lust will never be able to lead. I'm absolutely heartbroken and shocked. My haters can go celebrate. Haha, so funny. I will always have the last laugh though. He lost everything and I gained everything. Thank God." She also posted, "I'm going to sell my engagement ring, around $100,000, and donate the money to single moms. More power to women. Amen." Now, of course, before you type an angry comment in my section, I know this can also happen to men too. This can happen to anybody in a relationship. The more important thing that I'm taking away from this is the fact that this guy was unfaithful. He has a wife. She's supposedly 4 months pregnant. And the overall issue is that people are so quick to throw everything they have away to try and get in contact with other people. Nevertheless, she continues and states, "And please don't send Landon hate. I still feel somehow responsible for his feelings, even though he was definitely not thinking about me or our child when deciding to make a Snapchat account yesterday." Girl, you are not responsible for his feelings when he is betraying you and deceiving you. She continues, "I'm so blindsided and shocked. It's like a bad dream and I wish I could wake up, but I can't because it's reality. Maybe I shouldn't share this much, but I don't know. I feel close to you guys and I do have my family right now. I'm just shocked, but please don't hurt him. That's not my intention at all. I still love him, but I have to choose myself." So it's very clear to see her stance on the situation, at least at the current time. After things started to circulate online and he began receiving tons of backlash, Landon decided to make a response video through Instagram stories, which did not go over well whatsoever. The comments are just completely tearing him apart. By the way, I greatly appreciate everyone who has decided to screen record and re-upload these stories, because without it being archived, I wouldn't be able to show you this. Let's take a little listen to what he had to say.
Like, I'm not gonna come on here and ask for your forgiveness. I'm just gonna come on here and ask for understanding, because I made a mistake, but that doesn't mean that I don't love Liz.
You don't.
I love her with my entire heart, and we have a baby on the way. And over the last 10 months, I have done everything I can to give this person all that I can and to make her happy and do all of this.
You don't.
And regardless of how much I care, I made a mistake. And in the middle of texting somebody I should not be texting in this moment of weakness.
I hate the minimizing in this so much, where he said, I had a moment of weakness, when if you go back to those conversations, it kind of implies that this wasn't a one-time thing. It seems like this was a repetitive issue that had been going on, or had happened at least. So this wasn't just a choice that he made one time. By the way, a moment of weakness, you went out of your way to make a second Snapchat account, which is embarrassing in and of itself, to communicate with somebody that had no interest in you and jeopardize your entire marriage and your future. As she said in her statement, he lost everything.
Like, seeking validation, and it's just a bad behavior that I can't believe I did it. But in the moment that I was doing it, I messaged that person that I was sorry and that it was wrong.
So?
And I prayed to God that night for strength and clarity to never do that again. That is not who I want to be. It is not what I thought I was stronger than this. I thought I was smarter than this.
You aren't.
And I let something build up inside of me that I indulged in. And it is weak and it is despicable. And in this, I'd like to just take full accountability. I don't think this should have been aired out, honestly. And there's so much, oh my God, there's so much to say that I am not going to say.
So this is a apology video where he's trying to take accountability, but he's being manipulative and saying, oh, there's so much I could say, but I'm not going to. Trying to flip the tables on her?
I'm taking accountability regardless. This is not something that I want to promote or make seem like I identify with. This is not who I want to be, and I'm sorry.
You're not.
I love Liz more than I could even put words to, and I've shown her this, and I've tried my best to make her feel safe and happy and protected, and while yes, I made this mistake, I want to be a great man.
Well, you're not doing a very good job at it.
And I'm not there yet, but I know that a great man is one that takes accountability. I know that a great man is somebody who makes a mistake and then can be forthcoming honestly. And although I felt bad, like I should have just said, hey, I've done this thing. I feel very bad about it. I'm sorry. Like, I know what I did was wrong and this is not going to happen again, and I'm sorry. And that's how you should treat the people you love. And I am sorry.
I'm sorry. From my perspective, from my opinion, this guy seems to lack any remorse whatsoever. He seems like he's just doing damage control because he also has a social media platform. He also has his own branding, and this is something that will affect it. He's receiving a lot of criticism, a lot of negative attention, and I think he's just trying to ease the blow from that a little bit. But you have to take into consideration that as far as we're aware, this is the face of a man who just lost everything. The lifestyle he had, the life with his future wife, a happy family. It looks like it's just been completely obliterated. Let's actually check out the full text messages because they were actually shown. So again, I have found reposts of what was posted on his, I assume, Instagram stories. And this is a message that I'm assuming he received after making his response video. And the message states, it wasn't a mistake like ordering the wrong food for getting something. No. You intentionally created an account to text another woman while having a fiance at home who loved you so much and is carrying your child, and you go out there telling that the relationship is fake? You don't want to be this person, but that is exactly who you are. You destroyed the beautiful life you could have by doing this bull. Hope you're happy now. It's a little hard to read, but his response is the text overlaid on top of this screenshot, which states, I didn't create an account to message someone. I opened an app I've had for years and messaged someone from the past. So did he have this account created a while back and he just signed into it? Liz is claiming no, he created the Snapchat account. He's saying no, I didn't create it to message this person. I just logged in. But he's not denying the fact that he has a second Snapchat either way, which is weird. He continues to say, weak and not okay. Our marriage is not technically legal, but she is my wife. Oh, we're going down this route. Okay, so regardless, this is somebody you're committed to and you're having a child with, you're at the very least engaged to, but you're calling her your wife, so therefore, whether it's legal or not, you're considering yourself her husband. He continues, so it's a fake in some way, but real in every other. And I hate the way this is worded too, because it sounds like he's just going off of technicalities here. If this even is the case, he's omitting the information that we'll see in the text that we're about to go over. He completely dismisses the entire thing as fake. This is bullshit. He's trying to maneuver his way out of this. Again, sent a couple texts, immediately felt bad, should not have done that, owning it. He is completely downplaying this. Okay, let's get into what was said in these texts, which he posted onto his own story. I think he thought it was going to make him look better. It makes the situation look worse and confirms pretty much everything that the Wizard Liz has claimed in her posts. So again, these screenshots were re-uploaded to Reddit, and the first screenshot from the Snapchat account starts with Landon asking, are you still in Dallas? She responds with, yeah, why? Landon says, just wondering who all I know is here. I just got back from London, in New York City on Tuesday, then back in Dallas for a week. Do you have plans? She responds, aren't you married? He says no. He doesn't say, no, I'm engaged, or no, I'm in a relationship. He just flat out says no. He then says, plus, just looking for friends. Right under that, it says, Landon changed chats to delete immediately. That's extraordinarily suspicious, but that's just my opinion. She responds, since when aren't you married? He says, yeah, well, it's a complicated long-distance internet thing. But no, I'm not married, lol. Not a normal life for sure. In the 55-minute video that they are doing their Q&A, they're talking about how they spend a lot of time together in person because they both work remotely and are together quite often.
I think also we both work from home. Normal couple goes to work, you know, and like 9 to 5, and then they see each other in the evening or something. But we see each other a lot. Like,
well, we're also homebodies too.
This is a complete denial of their relationship, and he is lying to this person, and on top of that, entirely disrespecting his wife or fiance, a deeply committed relationship, and they're having a child. She responds, so your whole relationship is fake? He says in this response, no, it's not, but I'm not married. That part is not real. Why is he saying this to her? First of all, why is he doing this to begin with? This is clearly the intentions of somebody who is up to no good and is trying to omit information to another woman while he's in a committed relationship. She says, what does that even mean? Landon says, haha, do you want to see me? I can tell you in person. Interesting. No paper trail. She responds, I don't want to hang out with married men, and I saw you wearing a wedding ring. He says, well, that's fair, but no, not married. She responds with the screenshot of his wedding ring and puts a laughing emoji. He says, oh god, that's worn for the whole video, but never mind, it's complicated. She responds, explain. He says, no, never mind. I told you it's complicated. Not legally married. Maybe will be. At the least, the very least, they are engaged. So where's the maybe here? Because if you're engaged, that is full intent on getting legally married. At that point, you're not just boyfriend and girlfriend. You're not just going steady. You're taking the next step to be in a very fully committed, lifelong relationship. And she's also pregnant. So where is this maybe? Why are you lying? And why are you omitting information and downplaying your relationship, calling it fake and so many other things? This is truly abysmal. She responds, either way, if you're in a relationship, you shouldn't be trying to hang out with girls. And here's the thing, it's not just that he's trying to hang out with a girl, he's doing this behind his wife/fiance's back. He's doing this in a deceptive and unfaithful way towards his partner. And a lot of people people have a different definition of what cheating is. Everybody has a different boundary, but what truly matters is if you are breaking your partner's trust and you have the intention of sneaking around behind her back to go and see other women, this entire thing is inappropriate. And in my opinion, based off of all of the information we have, yeah, this is a form of cheating. He has the full intention of doing something behind his wife's back. There's a little bit of a pattern we're gonna get into here. He says, "Why were you going to come courtside with me then? Just curious, but your point is valid." She says, "What's your point? You invited my boyfriend and we never came." So there was a time before this, clearly, and he was under the impression that she was single. He said, "I didn't know you had a boyfriend at the time, and no, not trying to pull a fast one on you, lol, was just curious." Even she notices that this is an inconsistency as she says, "But you said it yourself, you are in a relationship right now, so why are you trying to hang out with me?" He then owns up and says, "Well, was not trying to date you, but you're right. Even if the situation is complicated or unresolved," what does that mean? Unresolved. Resolved of what? There were no indications, at least from what is posted online publicly at this point, that there were any intentions of the relationship ending or have ended prior to this message. Once again, indicating that he is being unfaithful to his partner. But he continues, "I shouldn't message you. I am sorry. Maybe I'll explain more one day." Bro, you should just not. It is so easy to just not. You should try it sometime. He did make another response video where he was talking about how people were sending him really nasty hate and telling him to end himself and listen. Just like Liz said, please don't send this person any hate. Please don't send him harassment. One thing to be upset and want to share your opinions about something, but when you get into the territory of saying really nasty, vulgar things like that, that isn't okay. I don't endorse that. Not for Landon or anybody that I talk about on my channel.
I think all the people telling me to and whatever for this thing that I am acknowledging is wrong.
With that being said, he talks about how this was just 5 or 10 minutes of his life that jeopardized his relationship.
And it's not, it was 5-10 minutes of my life texting somebody that I don't give about, jeopardizing everything that I have.
This was more than 5 or 10 minutes of your life. This had planning involved, sneaking around your wife's back. This had intention to do something very unfaithful to her, which you can let me know if you disagree in the comments, but I find that just as bad as if he were to fully go through with this. Because his intention was entirely there, and the only reason why it didn't pan out the way he wanted it to was because the other girl rejected him. If she didn't, he would have went through with this. At least, most likely. So in my opinion, it's just as bad.
Cheating is not an accident. It's a deliberate, consecutive amount of actions to show how much you don't like your partner. It's the thought to even want to do it. It's the fingers hovering over the keyboard to do it, the typing, the sending, waiting, planning. Like, he needs to be shunned from society. And it's only teaching these bums that are watching how to be smarter about it than being better partners. They're getting smarter at being bad partners.
This is not something that took 5 minutes to think about and plan out. This is something that was calculated. This is something that took several steps. This took planning. So not to sound redundant, but from my perspective, the only reason why this didn't happen was because the other girl rejected him.
It's just ridiculous. So yeah, I deserve the hate, and there's not a single person on this planet that is more disappointed or upset. So I don't expect you guys to understand, but I hope you take into consideration that you can make a mistake and get better. And this isn't just a mistake, right? Like, this is breaking trust, but I realized what I did was wrong, and it's never gonna happen again. Doesn't mean it's okay, but...
We know you realized what you did was wrong because it said so in the text messages that you sent to that girl, but you did it anyway. You actively chose to do it knowing it was wrong. This is kind of something that definitely should be more embarrassing for him than it is for her. Yes, it's embarrassing to have to come out and say, my partner did this and this, as somebody who has a life coach and gives relationship advice, but it's even more embarrassing to be that person who had done it. So I hope he lives with that and has to deal with that every time his eyes open in the morning. Since then, there have been a few more stories that Liz had posted, which were reposted onto Reddit and labeled as crash outs. Out of all the modern slang, crash out is like my favorite term, but I feel like it's starting to be overused. When I think of crash out, I think of somebody completely flipping out. I don't know if this is completely flipping out because it's in the form of text. So let me know in the comments down below if you think this is crashing out, but whether or not it is, I think it's valid because she's very obviously upset with what has been happening. I would crash out too, especially if I was carrying this guy's child. So someone posted, bro had the hottest, most beautiful, loyal, smart, amazing woman ever and a beautiful family on the way, but still chose to cheat on her. She reposted this stating, how are you going to spend close to $1 million on me? Damn. Refuse to be more than a week without me and refuse to do long distance until we get our visa stuff done because you want to be attached to my hip. Make me get rid of my apartment, move in with you all over the world staying in Airbnbs whilst we wait for the visa process, cuddled to sleep together 4 days ago, messaged me on the plane how much you miss me and so excited to build our family, and then the day you land you decide to cheat on Snapchat? The girl was a longtime follower and fan of my content and she told you no multiple times. Can't even cheat because she didn't want you. Oh lord. I'm actually effing furious. I can't eat, I haven't slept in the last 2 nights, and this dude also has my cats and clothes in our apartment I was about to move into this month. And for the ones thinking I was suspicious of any behavior of cheating, absolutely not. If I tell you how shocked I am, how the F do you stalk my content for years and not think I'm going to leave if you cheat, you dumb? How the F do you make that video Q&A with me and decide great time to try and cheat? The girl sent me a voice note saying, I always thought he was weird and never wanted him, so I was shocked when I saw that he got engaged to you because I was a longtime fan of your content. Most embarrassing thing is you get rejected whilst trying to cheat. Oh lord. She then shows a picture of what looks like a photo of them together in a book and states, bro writes me a whole book about 26 reasons why he loves me for 3 hours on the 21st of May, my birthday, pays $100,000 to develop an app for me as a surprise. What kind of app? Bro, how are you going to fumble your own investment like that? How stupid. Oh lord, men are so easily controlled by their lust. Bro, and love bombing stops at a certain point, right? How are you going to love bomb me for almost a year and then call our relationship fake? Bro, you is fake. You're stupid apology video saying, don't give us the evil eye when I try to repair this. You are the evil eye. Oh my god, I've never heard somebody call a person the evil eye. I feel like I gotta clutch my cornicello. I should have listened to my followers from the get-go. They keep telling me something's off about him. My followers show more loyalty to me than my own man. The girl told him in the messages, you shouldn't be messaging me whilst in a relationship. Why the F is she having to teach you? Grown-ass man about to be a father like a little child on Snap. Okay, maybe she did crash out just a little bit, but I don't blame her. I think this is well deserved. I really want to get to something important that's been on my mind after seeing this, because between this and seeing other scandals happen, every single time a big scandal happens, people will see how pretty the person that's being cheated on is. They will see all of these little things that led up to the scandal being exposed and saying, this person did all of these wonderful things for them, meanwhile they were cheating on them at the same time. How can people trust people? People are very devastated over this, and I mean, this is a very devastating situation for the Wizard Liz, of course. Like, this is something that is truly horrible. She is 4 months pregnant with his child. This is somebody that she has dedicated her life to. He had broken her trust. He had gone behind her back, made a Snapchat account, and attempted to get involved with another woman, and that is breaking loyalty and trust, and that is, I'm not trying to sound redundant, but it is truly devastating. It is a pain like no other to find out that someone's being disloyal to you. There's this sinking, gut-wrenching feeling, and it's something that I don't wish upon anybody, and I feel bad for her, truly. Even though this isn't as dark as a lot of the other content that I cover, I think this is a pretty serious topic to talk about, and it's something that, regardless of how often we see it come up in media, I think when it comes to idolizing people on social media or seeing these social media relationships, there were TikToks of people saying he had gotten her like 700 roses or something like that, and he wrote her a book, and he did all of these things, and he still cheated on her, and she's gorgeous, and he still cheated on her, and then saying that no relationship is safe, kind of putting that mindset out there. I think it's important to remember that when you see relationships online, no matter how glamorized it looks, no matter how beautiful the person is, sometimes people are capable of being really crappy. I want to dive deeper into this a little bit more because I wasn't crazy about how I explained everything while video recording. To make a long story short, a lot of people were posting on TikTok talking about how if a man can cheat on someone as amazing as the Wizard Liz, then that must mean no woman is safe, that must mean no relationships are safe, that means everything is doomed, because this looked like the perfect relationship to people. And she is a very extraordinary person. She is a very beautiful, confident, intelligent person, and people look up to her. But the problem isn't Liz. The problem is this guy. It does not matter how attractive you are, how intelligent you are, what your goals and achievements are. It's a sad thing to say, but anybody can be cheated on no matter how great they are and what they bring to the relationship. We shouldn't be setting up these standards that this person's so pretty, so obviously he's not gonna cheat. That isn't a thing. I feel like all that's going to do is make a lot of people feel more insecure about themselves, when in reality, if someone's going to cheat, they're going to cheat no matter what the person looks like. In fact, I'm gonna take a guess that many of you watching this video right now have had the experience of being cheated on at some point during your life, and if you do know what that feeling is like, I am so sorry. If you've gone through this, you may have experienced hearing a voice in the back of your head telling you you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not this enough, you're not that enough. That is a very toxic and dangerous voice, and it's wrong. That voice is telling you a lie. You are good enough. And if for any reason the person you were with that betrayed your trust doesn't think so, then they aren't the right person for you, and you're good enough for somebody better. And one day somebody better will come along and will make the person that made you feel worthless or not good enough or not this enough or not that enough seem like a friggin' idiot. You deserve nothing but peace, happiness, somebody who truly loves you, and somebody who will never do that. Just because this guy did this to somebody who is radiant, it doesn't mean that the next guy she meets gonna do the same exact thing, and it doesn't mean that the same exact thing will definitely happen to you. And hopefully it doesn't. Also, I'm not saying don't keep your eyes out for red flags. It's absolutely realistic for every relationship to go through their ups and downs and problems, but there are certain boundaries that shouldn't be crossed. And sometimes there are red flags that can often go ignored until it's too late. A TikToker known as Victoria in the Universe made a really good video. I'll link it down below. I'm only going to play a clip from her video, but it's something that really stuck out to me.
What happens is you meet someone, they fall in love with you, they become obsessed, they worship you, they watch your every move, they love every single little thing about you, and then over time, jealousy and resentment builds up until they realize that they actually hate you. They hate you because you make them insecure, especially if you are a strong, confident, powerful, independent, financially independent woman. That is the first thing that will make a man insecure. And you being yourself is too much for him, and he can't handle it, so he has to tear you down. And at that point, he knows you well enough to know exactly how to hurt you. And that's what he'll do.
Again, I did only play a clip from this. I want to add additional context. She's talking about obsessive, insecure, manipulative people. At least that's how I take the video and what I gather from it. She also says this, which stuck out to me as well.
Look, I'm not trying to put fear into anyone's hearts, but we have to be careful. Manipulation can look like so many things, but it's so scary when it looks like he loves you.
There's another clip from a TikToker whose name I'm gonna say Anna Bash because I'm scared that saying her channel name will get my video demonetized. But she analyzes several points from the Q&A video that Liz and her now ex Landon made on her channel.
Every day, a goddess takes a man who looks like a foot and makes him extraordinary with her magic.
And she says something that is very interesting as well.
It's really good to actually have photos and videos with your partner. Is in the moment, her intentions are so pure, and a lot of the times when you're in love and you're swept off your feet or you're love bombed, you're not gonna be able to recognize this. But the way that he looks at you will tell you everything.
Now, she goes over a lot more in this video. I'll link that down below as well. I do want to say it is hard just by going off of a glance that somebody does, especially in a video. It could be taken a different way. Just from this alone, I would say maybe don't dump the guy over what you think might be a negative look.
Eddie, you can't just dump someone because of the way they looked at you. Oh yeah? Why not?
But if you're noticing it as a pattern, or if you're noticing these looks along with other negative behavior or suspicious behavior, then I would definitely consider it a red flag. That's just my opinion, but I definitely see where she's coming from. And again, that's a take coming from somebody who wears a cornicello or an Italian horn that protects you from the malocchio. I grew up in a family that is superstitious about dirty looks and the evil eye, so that's coming from me. And listen, of course, no relationship is perfect. Every couple is going to go through their own struggles at some point or another, but nobody should be treated the way that Liz was treated by her husband. Being cheated on while being 4 months pregnant with his child is such a disgrace. And also, just to add on top of this, I'm sure she's under a lot of stress right now, which probably isn't good for her pregnancy. So not only is he hurting her emotionally, but he could also be causing harm to his future child. I want to close this out by saying I genuinely feel terrible for Liz. I hope that she is able to heal from this. I know she is putting on a very strong face right now when it comes to TikTok and her public appearance, and I admire that a lot, but I genuinely hope that she is surrounded by love and support during such a significantly distressful time. I hope that everything goes okay with her pregnancy and that she has an amazing life, and whatever she chooses to do next, I hope she has tons of love and support doing so from the people in her personal life. And I don't think her audience is going anywhere. It seems like the majority of people are in support of her, and to anybody out there putting the blame on her for this, I think that's wild. And sort of what I mentioned previously, to anybody out there who is looking at this as a sign of doom when it comes to the dating world or relationships, I'm never going to say that it's a bad thing to be cautious, because being cautious is what protects people. But with that being said, just know that the right person will not do this to you. And there are genuinely decent people out there who would never imagine doing something like this to their pregnant wife. And until that right person comes along that will cherish you, just practice loving yourself, being kind to yourself, because that is the best gift you can give yourself at any point in life. Thank you so much if you've made it all the way to the end of this video. I know this one was a little bit different and a little bit shorter. I know there are so many topics I have that I want to share. I'm going to be discussing James Charles, Kayla Malik, Ashley Trevino at some point. I know that one's been put on the back burner. I've been saying for months I've been talking about her, and I do have like a whole thing planned out. There's just been so many things going on. I have updates to other topics that I've talked about in the past, and so much more that I have coming in the very near future. I know it's been a little bit since I made this video, but I want to thank you for your patience with me being a little bit inconsistent over the past few months with posting content because of some health stuff going on, but I am trying to get back on track. I am trying to get to a point where I'm more consistent now that I'm kind of, it's not that things are getting better with my health, they're all kind of the same, and I mean, like, it's a genetic thing. My camera cut out. Thank you so very much if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Thank you so much to everybody supporting me over on Patreon and through YouTube memberships. With that being said, I will see you again very soon in the next video, and I'll see you later. Sorry that this outro doesn't have my face in it and my camera died.